is to actually focus initially on yourself and focus on what are the things that you are most passionate about and where do you see the biggest problems in your life that you would be willing to spend years of your life solving.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
How would you like to make your first million? And today we have Alex, who is the founder of Together Future, Save the High Street. So Alex, tell us, what are the 5 steps that a small business owner can achieve to make the first million?
Harry, thank you for having me. It's good to see you again. I think where I'd start, if we're talking about key steps towards getting a product market fit journey and then taking it to scale, is to actually focus initially on yourself and focus on what are the things that you are most passionate about and where do you see the biggest problems in your life that you would be willing to spend years of your life solving. I think the mistake that a lot of people often make is they look and they say, oh, there's some gap in the market over here. And even if that is true and the timing is right, are you the right team to address that gap at this moment? Because you need all 3 of those things to come together to succeed at scale.
Yeah,
exactly. Are you willing to go through what it takes? I watched a very interesting interview with Jensen Huang, who's the founder of NVIDIA, recently the largest company in the world, who said if he had the chance to start NVIDIA again, he's not even sure he would because it was so hard. And so you have to actually focus on something that even through the difficult times, and every business, big and small, goes through them, that you are driven beyond just this desire to make money to solve a problem in the world. So that's the first thing. Really look inside yourself and say, am I willing to commit to this? And am I potentially the right person to lead a business to achieve that?
Brilliant. What would be the step 2 then, Alex?
So I think with the step 2 is, if you've got this space that you really want to focus on, immerse yourself in that industry. Take it to another level. So whatever it is you're trying to do, and as you know, Harry, in my space here, this is all about the high street. We launched Save the High Street. I have a team of people that live and breathe high street success, from champions to businesses to people who have built innovative technologies to try and change high streets for the better. Everyone who I've brought in has already been immersing themselves in this industry. And one of the key strengths I wanted to build with this organization was that domain experience and obsession about this industry. So if you yourself, when you're starting a business, can find that thing initially that you're passionate about, can you then immerse yourself into whatever that industry is and become a part of the fabric of that community? Can you really geek out, become a busybody for your industry, make it your business to become more and more obsessed, read about it in your spare time, go to the networking events, meet the other obsessives in that industry, and go deeper and deeper until you become one of those true industry leaders.
That's fantastic. So, and then Alex, after we do, after we find, that we are the right person, we have the purpose, that I like what you said, about, it's not about finding the gap in the market and go for it. It's not going to cut it. You have to be a person that your purpose in life, that you're going to dedicate your life to fill that gap in the market. Otherwise, you're going to do it for the money. And by now we know that this doesn't work. So, so after you find that you are the person with the purpose, yes? And after you go to the second step, so what is the next step number 3 that entrepreneurs have to do?
So I think the next key thing that I would talk to here is around actually looking to construct an offer that's so good, people feel stupid saying no to it, and test that in market, even before you've invested significant capital to go and build and offer it. That you don't necessarily need to be able to fulfill on things to get the signals that actually you have something that people really want. So there's a lot of great literature out there from the lean startup and, a range of things that talk to how to build technology businesses in a much more customer-centric way. But I think this translates everywhere. How can you go out there, whether you want to start a salon or a retail business or a cafe or any business on the high street or really any kind of business, and go, can we actually get out there, speak to some people who may be our customers and test out exciting pitches, elevator pitches about the business, and refine it and get people to give you that feedback before you go out there and start really investing heavily in building the offering to fulfill it, let alone marketing it on any scale. So there's a piece I think often entrepreneurs miss at the early stage, that they can very light touch and very low capital intensive to actually go and test and design and build the offering before you actually put a lot of money and time behind it.
Yeah. And then what would be the next step, number 4?
So one thing that we've been able to achieve here in where we're at here is saying, look, we are a passionate team and of entrepreneurs who want to go and build something with purpose. We want to change high streets for the better, and we want to transform the economics and experience of what it means to start small businesses. Now, we have that passion around that, but one thing that we've focused around is how to translate that into how do we make it everybody's interest? How do we give this to the world in a way where they can spread the word for us? How do we give this to a world where our success means their success? And so I believe in 2024, we're moving into an era where a large proportion of the real big success stories of the future will be purpose-driven businesses. And if you're a business of purpose, you know, there are frameworks that if people want to get in touch with me afterwards, I'm happy to share around launching industry movements. As a small business, this is not as crazy as it sounds. Using movement dynamics to mobilize support from people with shared interests so that you can actually feel like, even as a small business, you have this big extended team all on this shared mission. Lay out your vision of what the future looks like and how we can achieve it together. Draft the manifesto, engage those champions, and understand how they can work towards achieving their goals while achieving your goals as well. 100%. So it sounds like a big deal, but I would say the fourth thing is really explore, what does it mean to start a movement around my dream?
Wow, that's amazing. And the final one?
Wow, look, there's a lot of competition for the final one to get there, of course. But one of the things that I would say here is actually something somebody once said to me that stuck, which is about decision making. And in small businesses, it's very easy to spend too long or not enough time on decisions. And a very useful framework that I use is to actually understand when there are decisions that you can go back on, to be decisive, not to spend a load of time prevaricating, not you and your partners to spend weeks deciding on something that actually, if it doesn't work out the way you expect it to, you can't go back and change course, But then understanding which of those decisions on your journey, if you make that decision, you've really closed the door and it's going to be difficult to go back on, and doing the really fundamental analysis on those decisions. Often with businesses that we support, and at Save the High Street, we're helping thousands of businesses around the UK to build from startup to scale up in high street settings, from digital first brands launching their first shop on the high street through to, retailers and restaurants and cafes and salons scaling their business up into high street settings. And invariably, every single stage of the journey, I see a commonality, which is, businesses just need to do more. Often they're spending too much time thinking about doing things, planning to do things, and not getting stuff done. And actually, action is what counts. As Nike once said, just do it.
Follow us for more interviews with the world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.